The Chicago Bulls start the 2023 NBA season with, I think, a very balanced schedule. I mean, this isn't no walk in the park. I mean, some teams, if you look at it, you're like, okay, really? But no, this schedule looks pretty challenging to me.
Yeah, I think so. It's a really competitive schedule, and I like that. That's what I wanted to start my season off with. I want to start my season off with watching teams that could potentially be contenders once the postseason begins. I like to begin my season with that. So yeah, yeah, I
Hmm.
agree with you. This is going to be a well balanced schedule. First 10 for the Bulls. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so looking at the first 10 games for the Chicago Bulls, what matchup jumps off the page for you? Like you actually have to circle your calendar to watch this one.
I would say there's maybe two of them. It's
Hmm.
going to be the Bulls in Cleveland. I'm interested in that. I'm just interested in the Cleveland Cavaliers this upcoming season. So that will be one. And then another one that probably would spark my interest. Just maybe that one. I haven't really thought about it, but I would say just looking at it right now would be the Cleveland and Bulls. So,
Okay.
what about you?
I'm actually looking forward to the Bulls and the Miami Heat because
Mm,
if the
that's
Miami
fair.
Heat are not going to upgrade their point guard position and they're going to stick with Kyle Lowry, I'm looking for Kyle Lowry to redeem himself from last season. And I think if he's
Mhm.
going up against the tough defense of Lonzo Ball and or Alex Caruso, should be interesting to see. So I'm looking forward to their first game of the season in Miami. I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Okay. You talked about Kyle Lowry with the Heat and Bulls matchup. Hopefully this is the time for him to redeem himself. One of the concerns I have about the Chicago Bulls schedule, especially the first 10, is where will Lonzo Ball be? Exactly. Will he be able to show up at the top of the season? I hope so. I think the Bulls need it to help set the chemistry, to help get them ready for what the full season
Mhm.
looks like. He was there, in 2022 at the top of the season. I know that he's recovering from an injury, and that's fine. Will he be ready? Because if he's going to be ready, I think this would be a prime time for him to get back in. Let's get together. Let's set our tone for this particular season. And we need you
Mhm.
there to do that. So, yeah. Yeah. However, if Lonzo Ball is not ready, they
Mhm.
do have Kobe White. They do have Io. They do have Goran Dragic. It's the reason why they signed them because of the inconsistencies and availability with Lonzo Ball. I truly believe that. So, is he gonna lose a spot? Like I just want him to be there. Lonzo, be there. They need you. You're a decent player. You add value to the rosters that you're on. You're just inconsistent. So yeah.
Mhm. And I'm looking at a nationally televised game against the Charlotte Hornets on ESPN. Lonzo will be facing his younger brother in LaMelo Ball. The NBA is anticipating this matchup,
Hmm.
but
Well,
I'm with you. I'm not exactly sure Lonzo Ball is going to be available to play in that game. There is talk that the Chicago Bulls are just way too small. And they
I
need
agree.
to probably, yeah, when they go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers or they go up against Boston, they're gonna really struggle. And I don't know what's gonna happen when they play the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid in the paint. Vooch ain't ready for Joel Embiid.
No, no, no. Vooch prefers to really, if we want to be honest, hang out on the perimeter. If you
Hmm.
want, that's really where his preferred spot is, and we were able to see that, especially with the last season. But I just think that I agree. I 100% agree with you on that. I think that's going to be a challenge for them. They are too small. I agree. I agree. So we'll see what this season looks like. And now that DeMar DeRozan, this will be his second season with the
Hmm.
Chicago Bulls, people they're going to be ready for him because they've already scouted him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Zach Lavine is, refreshed with a new contract. So maybe he won't be as compromised as he was last season. And maybe that will be their benefit. But that's going to be something else. Yeah, I think that they do need to kind of upgrade that particular spot that Vooch is supposed to hold. If not keeping him, at least adding to it. So, yeah.
Exactly. One of the challenges I think the Chicago Bulls will face is like, how last season they started out really smoking hot. And then they fizzled out towards the middle, and then they ended the season, I think, number 6
Yes.
in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Can they maintain their momentum throughout the season? Now, I know last season was one of the, COVID, a lot of players were out here and there, but then, the injuries started kicking up too. But can they overcome that adversity as the season gets going? Everybody is going to be faced with it, but can the Bulls and Billy Donovan lead them through, the rough patches that are sure to come?
I would say yes, because if we think about it, this is still the same group as last season too. So that could be a benefit as well, right? We talked in the previous um, episode where we were discussing the Clippers. Check that video out, where uh, some teams, they've been together for a time. In this case, this group would have been together for the previous 2022 season. They're coming into the 2023 season. They have already built some type of chemistry. So maybe they will be able to overcome adversity because they were able to do it last season as well. It just caught up to them at the end of the season. So they may be okay, but they do need to get a little high. They are too small. I agree.
Mhm. Having Patrick Williams back on the roster, I think will
Ooh,
benefit
yeah, I
them
forgot about him.
greatly.
I forgot about
Yeah,
him.
Patrick Williams, he'll
Mm-hmm.
be coming back ready to rock for the Chicago Bulls for the 2023 NBA season. They're going to need him because the East is big. Like teams are going tall ball. No more of that small ball.
I agree. And I forgot about Patrick. So that's actually the Vooch backup, or that's it right there. It's that Patrick Williams connection, and that they were missing last season, that they'll be able to have this season since he returns. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
interesting that the Brooklyn Nets game will not be a nationally televised game. Got to
We don't
catch
know
it
who's
on
going.
League Pass.
Isn't that something? I
Hmm.
know, and I'm not mad at it. Yeah, but the Bulls, we'll see what this. I don't know if they'll have a start to this upcoming season, 2023, like they did for 2022. Hmm. We'll see.
Hmm.
Also, the Bulls are going to be going up against three teams that were top contenders in the Eastern Conference for the 2022 season, and I believe will also be top contenders for the Eastern Conference in the 2023 season. That would be the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, and the Philadelphia 76ers. So those games will be pretty tough for them. And to set the
Hmm.
stage on how they'll be able to manage these types of matchups as the season progresses. So yeah, they're gonna have to come out with guns a-blazing.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good test for them. As I
Mm-hmm.
keep saying, Billy Donovan, I think he's on the hot seat. He's been there a couple of seasons now, getting real comfortable. Next season, we anticipate DeMar and Zach both being available for the entire season, even Lonzo as well. So, yeah, the pressure is on the Chicago Bulls. And Chicago, like other franchises like the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics, they have a storied franchise, having won
Yeah.
championships year after year. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot continue down this stretch where you don't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone win an NBA championship.
A historic franchise that trying to get over just trying to make it happen. So yes, it's time for them to change the tide. And I think they have players that can make that happen, along with a coach that's very seasoned and very experienced. I don't see why we can't see it. The Chicago Bulls also being a top 6 contender at the end of the season, like we did the previous season. I can see that. Now, will they have a start like they had last season? Probably not, but I can see them still at least top 6 by the end of the 2023 regular season, right? We'll see.
Yeah. All right, looking at the first 10 games for the Bulls, how do you see them coming out? Like, I personally have them 6-4 on this stretch.
I
I
do
have them
too.
losing. You do too.
I
I
do
have them
too.
losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers because size still matters. And then also losing to the Boston Celtics because, the Celtics, they're clicking on all cylinders. They added Brogdon. They're coming off an NBA Finals run. I have them losing to the Sixers again. Just too much size and girth on the Sixers that the Bulls just do not have. And then I had them losing to the Brooklyn Nets, anticipating Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD being available.
So that means you have them beating one of the Celtics
Hmm.
matchup.
Yeah,
Which one?
they'll beat them. Was that 11-4? So that last game.
Okay, okay. I also have 6-4 as well. I have them losing their first game of the season against the Heat. Yeah. I know. What a way to start the season, right? So I have that. I also have them losing their first game with the Celtics. I have them losing the 76ers matchup. And then I also have them losing the Celtics again. I think it's going to be too much for the Boston Celtics is going to be too much. Their defense is going to be too much for the Bulls to beat. I think so. So I can see them losing both matchups to the Boston Celtics for their top of the season games. That's why I have 6-4.
Okay.